Hello everybody, welcome to day 3 of Begin to Connecting to Your Adoptee Wounds. You can hear that I've still got my cold. I'm Emma Greenslade, the founder of the Adoptee Club, and we're in here in Cause I'm Adopted talking about how to connect to your adopted wounds. So this is day 3 of the 5-day mini series. Day 1 was about setting up your space. Day 2 was about becoming grateful and writing a list of things that you're proud of. If you haven't checked that, if you haven't listened to them, go and check them out. They're quite short, well, at least the second one is. Today 3, I'm going to try and keep this short as well. And today we're going to start talking about tools that you can use to begin dumping emotions that actually aren't serving you right, so aren't serving you in the way that they're just basically not serving you. They're really unhelpful. And so we're setting you up to begin really connecting with your beliefs in the masterclass on Wednesday, in 2 days' time for day 5. So what I know is that we have this identity of being adopted. I'm sure you found yourself saying, I am adopted, particularly if you've been to the doctors, if you have been asked about certain things in your life. And when you're a child, you probably said it quite regularly without considering it. But now you're an adult, even though you were adopted, it's kind of not serving you in today's world, in this world as an adult. So I've got some notes here actually, because we have these levels of awareness. There's 3 levels of awareness, and having this identity of I am adopted, it creates, for the majority of people, until they've done some work on themselves or done some personal growth or been through therapy or spoken about it, it creates a little bit of a the low vibe, which we've been talking about, but also this kind of victim. Now, I don't mean to say that to be derogatory, but we have this to me kind of feeling, or at me. Things are done to me, things are done at me. And our adoption was done to me. Sorry, I'm really struggling to breathe. So our adoption was done to me. And when we start letting go of that mindset, everything is done to me, and we start to learn that things are done for us, our highest good. They're done for me. They're done through me. By through me, I mean we have the need to let go of control. We start to have faith and trust and belief in ourselves, but also the world around us. And we start to raise up our consciousness as we begin to trust. Remember the low vibe feelings. So we're having this, we're just raising up a little bit. And when we start going into the second phase, the through me phase, we start looking at ways that we can grow ourselves. We venture into the personal development world. And if you think of a river, if you look at it from an aerial view, you can see that it's windy and windy, and it goes through the path of less resistance, doesn't it? And that's what happens when you start letting things go through you, when they start happening for you. Things happen in the path of less resistance, or least resistance. They just happen because you've let go of control. So then you're trusting the bigger picture. So the next phase is, it's to me, then it's by me. So by me is things are happening by me. I am creating it. I am making the change. I am being empowered. And then we go to the next one, which is the third phase, which is through me. Now, it can happen quite quickly. It can happen quite slowly, depending on how your beliefs are around the to me, and how and the peer group that you surround yourself with. So if you're surrounding yourself with other people that are in the to me, in the to me group, then you're going to naturally be inclined to stay in that group. When you move into the next level, the by me phase, you're going to be upgrading your peer group. And again, when you go into the through me. So what we want to get to is as me. And when you are in the as me group, or phase, should I say, you see yourself in others. There's a unity, there's a consciousness, it's a oneness. And it's in this oneness that we gain freedom. Now, we start to replace all those low vibe feelings with unconditional love. But as adoptees, we don't know what that unconditional love is, do we? I can only speak about myself, but I found that I didn't know what love was. I had no idea what love was until I had my second child. Now, she is 14 in a couple of months, and I'm 52. So that was what, 38 I was when I had her. I'd lived for 38 years without knowing what love was. I wonder how many of you have had that same experience. I'd love to know, so drop me a comment below of your experience of love and when you felt it and how you felt it. I just want to point out that even Buddha, he didn't start out being enlightened. He worked hard at it by meditating. And I don't suggest that we all go into our caves and meditate. I mean, I would highly recommend doing Vipassana, which is a 10-day silent retreat. I have done this, and it's exponentially changed my by me thinking, which brought me onto this level of awareness. So the first level of awareness is intellectual, but it doesn't change behavior. So let me give you an example of pretty simple one. I used to smoke. I gave up smoking in 2011, and I think I'd tried to give up smoking when I was pregnant with my first child, but I went back to it. There wasn't a great enough emotional need, and I was still in the identity, I'm a smoker. And I also used to like smoking joints. And so I still had this habit of smoking, but on an intellectual level, I knew that smoking was bad for me. We all know that. You pick up the packet of fags, it even has it written on it, doesn't it, saying this is bad for your health. It causes lung disease and heart disease and all the rest of it. We know that smoking is not good for us. But I managed to quit for my pregnancy with my first child through willpower. Even though I'd been to smoking cessation, I still had the habit. I had to change my habits around when I was smoking, and that's how I managed to quit that for those, well, I don't know, let's say it was a year, but I went back to it. Then on an emotional level, I didn't want to smoke for my baby, so I quit for that period of time. But then when I stopped smoking in 2011 for good, I had taken on this identity of, I don't want to smoke anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And not only that, but I removed myself from my peer group, who were all smokers. And I removed myself for 3 months, maybe a bit longer. It was through the monsoon, so I'm thinking maybe 4 months I didn't hang out with these people that were smokers, by which time the cells had renewed, because cells change every 3 months. I did a lot of other stuff, which I'm not going to talk about, because the main purpose is I changed my peer group, I changed my identity, and I became a non-smoker. I don't smoke, and it's, if I'm around people that smoke and say, have you got a light or what have you, I don't smoke. I have that identity. I don't smoke. So how can you so today we're going to start shifting this identity that you have, that has brought you to this point. And is it Einstein that said you cannot change, I've got it written down here actually, you can never solve a problem with the same level of thinking that created it. You can never solve the problem with the same level of thinking that created it. So we need to begin changing your thoughts. It's about changing your structure, definitely changing your structure around who you are, your identity, and what do you want from life. Because I know myself, and I'm sure if you're in my group, the same is true for you, that you want to change your thoughts, your beliefs, your behaviors around your adoption, your emotions, essentially your wounds that keep opening when you're triggered. When somebody pokes in a trigger and it opens the wound, and you don't go there and really connect into the emotion, the wound is gaping open again, and it's open, ready to, because, and it's, the light is coming into it, and that is the most poignant time to begin exploring your emotions. However, that's not what we're doing today. We're going to start giving you some tools to begin changing or not begin changing, but definitely have some tools for when the awareness can happen. So just think about who in your peer group is holding you down, holding you back from really being one with yourself. How are your wounds and your identities keeping you addicted? The past only exists in your mind. So there's a beautiful practice called Ho'oponopono. I can't say it very well. It is a very simple phrase. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And when things come up that you are potentially not speaking to yourself nicely, you're triggered, you think poorly of somebody, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you just can you can just keep repeating those 4 phrases in your mind or out loud until the charge has negated. So that is one really simple tool to use. The other one is meditation. How many of you meditate? I'd love to know. So drop me a 1 in the comments if you meditate. Now, the purpose of meditation really is to just quieten the noise. You're never ever going to stop your thoughts. Even, you know, the monks that go and that meditate for years still have thoughts, but they are lessened. And the funny thing about meditation, when we're trying to reduce our thoughts, is that as soon as we don't have a thought, I don't have a thought now, because it's exciting. So I mentioned Vipassana, and I'm just going to give you the first part of the Vipassana. If you've been to a Vipassana, drop a 2 in the comments. And in Vipassana, you spend a number of days, I'm thinking it's 4 from memory, just concentrating on this area of the nose, just watching the cool air coming in and the warm air coming out. The cool air going in and the warm air coming out. It gives the mind something to focus on, the sensations around the nose. And I can assure you, after 4 days, you notice every single hair that moves within the nostrils. There are plenty of meditations, visualizations, guided meditations, music. There's you can use the love and above kilohertz ones, which is at 528 kilohertz, and just concentrate on the nose. It doesn't have to be very long. Set yourself a timer. If you've never meditated before, you don't have to sit cross-legged. Just find a comfortable spot to sit in. And if you've signed up to this 5-day series, you'll be receiving a guided meditation on how to run energy, and that will come to your inbox. And I suggest that you do. This is a really great practice for beginning to clear through stuff that you don't need to hold on to. I mentioned at the beginning of this live that we're going to start getting rid of stuff that you don't need to hold on to, that's not serving you, that you don't know that's there. And this running energy is an amazing practice. So this was through my Akashic Records work that we've got this meditation. So that will come to your inbox. And that is simply it. Those are the three things: the meditation with the nostril breathing, the Ho'oponopono, and the running energy. And you don't have to do all these at once. The Ho'oponopono is just something that you can carry around in your little in your pocket and bring out when you need it. You're going to be doing your great gratitude practice every single day. You're looking at your pride list every single day. And tomorrow we will start journaling. And I wanted to give you these tools before we started the journaling, because I'm very much about staying in my integrity of keeping you safe. This is really deep, sacred work. And if you're not set up to begin with, then you will not be thanking me. So my voice is now giving up. I shall see you tomorrow at the same time, 7 o'clock. And I look forward to seeing you then. The time is now. Press play from my heart to yours. Good night.